Welcome to this Windows channel, and this is the Tech News Update. We are Friday, June the 30th, 2017, and today in our Tech News Update, we have Facebook that has successfully had its drone do a test flight, and of course, it arrived safely, landed safely. The first flight ended up in a crash, which wasn't very cool. This one went super well. Of course, Facebook drones are there to eventually provide internet connections and even be there in moments of catastrophe if we need a special drone for internet access. Great idea and cool project, and it will of course be continuing as now the data will be gathered to see what could be improved upon the drone. Well, a lot of users that had crashing apps in the latest build of Windows 10 have noticed that there's a little bit of humor at Microsoft. For example, you see here it says Explain.exe has stopped working, and the error message says Windows is opening a portal to another dimension. And of course, it does give a little giggle to the insiders, but don't think that this will make it to the final product. It probably will not. So kind of a little bit of humor here. Well, despite selling just 265 Xbox One last week compared to 19,000 PlayStation 4, in Japan, Phil Spencer says that they will and they are committed to actually the Japanese market and that they will not stop selling and promoting the Xbox in Japan. Well, a research firm called PwC that actually looks at future trends and market trends says that AI, artificial intelligence, will contribute 15.7 trillion to the global economy by 2030. And the biggest winners in there will be China and North America. Kind of interesting to see that the economy will rely so much on machine and machine learning and of all sorts. And it's also that scary part where, okay, but where are the jobs going to go? Well, this one is a scary one. A test done at the University of Alabama with 12 subjects that they actually asked to wear this EEG, which is to measure the brain waves. And they started telling them, look, start, two types of experiments went on. One is start typing four pin numbers, and start typing also a certain number of characters in passwords. And they've been looking at the brainwaves, and people there doing the study said that after studying the brainwaves of the participant, they could guess just with the brainwaves the pin numbers that they were actually entering 1 out of every 20 times. And that's in contrast to 1 in 10,000 times if they didn't know anything. And for the passwords, they chose a password that you had 1 chance in 500,000. Well, once they've studied the brainwaves, the chance of getting the password right was now 1 out of 50. It seems that your brainwaves might actually give away your passwords. And as this study goes on, and more studies are done, I can tell you that 1 into 20 and 1 out of 50 will probably be every time they're going to get that password. Kind of scary, It's like, oh, you want to give the password? We're going to, just plug you on brainwaves or something. Well, as we look at iPhone at 10 years this week, for several reasons, I still get these emails. Shouldn't talk about Apple and Windows channel. One of the things that I got to say is that a lot of us have owned or own Apple products. And of course, yesterday was the exact 10th year anniversary of the release of the iPhone, the original one. And one of the interesting things that came out also this week of the original iPhone is that when it came out, the operating system in the iPhone was not iOS. iOS was designed later. It actually was OS 10, and a variation of the same operating system that Mac computers were using, basically. and it eventually turned into iOS at some point. Also, a they were saying that even Steve Jobs, when it was released, was not aware of everything that it could do and how it would actually change the surface of the smartphones, dominated back then by BlackBerry and the Palm Treo, which were the big companies back then that were really dominating the markets. And it's kind of interesting to see that iPhone kind of really messed up their plans, and all of these companies today are pretty much extinct. BlackBerry's pretty much a shadow of itself, and Palm bought by I don't remember who, but still, doesn't really exist anymore. Kind of interesting, all the changes that the iPhone has brought to the market. Well, about a few months ago, we were talking about the first RoboCop in Dubai, which was a cop that you could pay tickets and also have all sorts of information. Well, now they've got in Dubai this little car, which is a RoboCar. And they actually have this first police RoboCar that actually goes on the road by itself. And that it can manage to give tickets if it can detect that a driver did something wrong. And also, it can even release a drone to kind of check out some aspects and some things that might be happening a little closerly. And a little closer, sorry. So basically, this is, Dubai is becoming the city of the future. Eventually, you'll go there with RoboCops, RoboCars, and robots will probably be dealing with you over there. And finally, interesting study that came out of a research firm. The study looked at how we look at news on Facebook and social media. And they said that the main reason fake news gets into social media and has such a big impact is that humans have a very short attention span. And as they go from news to news, you can say that their brain kind of tires, and at some point, you just can't really distinguish well what's fake and what's not. And the more news you look at, the more fake news will be able to actually go through without you even noticing. So it's a very interesting study here. And that's why AI needs to be used to remove those. And this was a Tech News Update for Friday, June the 30th, 2017. If you enjoy our videos, please subscribe, give us thumbs up. Thank you for watching.